Morning, everybody. Let me ask you this. What could possibly be worse than a Zoom meeting? Right? This is a riddle. What could be worse? How about a Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting? How could it get any worse than that? I'm going to be talking about breakout rooms today. And I don't like to talk bad about Zoom. I really don't. It works very, very well. I've had not very many problems with it. But for a lot of folks, another meeting within a meeting is a big deal. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to be going through and showing some of the things that will hopefully make that experience a little bit easier for you and for your audience. Breakout rooms can really, really enhance your audience engagement. They create a smaller, more personal, room that you can feel a little bit, more comfortable talking. You don't have like 1,000 people, right, waiting for you to get your audio settings figured out. So when you're using it, if you're using it in your event, there's lots of things you can do to make that experience a little bit easier on your audience. So I'm so glad that you stopped by today. We're going to be having a great time, and I really appreciate you coming out and seeing my stream. My name is Michael Kyer. I use he, they pronouns, and I stream out here Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. And I try to talk about live streaming and video conferencing, lots of software talk, but also all the other things that go into creating a really nice live stream and or video conference. So in this case today, we're talking about Zoom breakout rooms, a little piece of the puzzle, if you will. So we're going to go through the different steps. I want to jump right into it. I want to get this going because I'm so excited about breakout rooms. Meeting within a meeting, wonderful. So the first part of this, really, there's just a few steps that are involved in going through your breakout rooms. And so the first thing you have to do is you have to create them. And one of the things I tried to do was to create them while I was live. And when you're live, you've got lots of different things going on, and you're all over the place. So creating those rooms while you're live can be kind of difficult. And so I've been trying to ahead of time create them. And that's what I'm going to show you here in a second. We're going to go into that, is how to create them ahead of time. If you have the opportunity, you know what you're doing, so you can create them ahead of time. But then, maybe assuming that you haven't done that, you need to create them live, then that's what I'm going to be showing as well, is how to create those and then get your audience into them as effectively as possible. And the audience tends to matriculate out to breakout rooms in different phases. So you've got the folks who know what they're doing and can just go pick a room and go. You got the folks who might need a little help, so they're going to stick back. They're going to be the second wave of people to go out. And then you got the folks who really, need some assistance and need to be manually put into a room by the host. And then there's a group of people that will not be able to make it into a breakout room for a variety of reasons, whether their application isn't updated or they just don't know how to use they don't want to use it because, it's a meeting within a meeting, right? So 2 meetings, and it can be just too much sometimes. So you really got 4 phases to get people out. So taking that into consideration when you launch your breakout rooms is important. And then once you've got your folks in their breakout rooms, then there's some different things that they can do so that they can come back to the main meeting, or maybe switch to another room altogether if that's one of the options that you've got enabled. So we're going to start off with the first step, and I'm going to you need to go into your Zoom portal settings. That's the first piece of this, is to go into your Zoom portal settings. So I am going to pull up my handy dandy screen shot and show this to you real quick of my Zoom settings. Okay, so you go into your Zoom web portal, you log in on your browser, and you're going to go down to your settings. Now, I talk about settings a lot, And so I'm not going to go through all of these today, but you go to your Settings tab, and then you go down here to In Meeting Advanced. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you have enabled these breakout rooms so that you can create them. And then this other little tag here, allowing the host to assign their participants beforehand, and then also broadcasting messages. So depending on what you want to be doing, you want to have these checked. But mainly what we're doing today is making sure that this blue one right here is checked so that you can create these when you do your scheduling. So assuming that's all checked and that's all ready to go, we're going to go up to our meetings and we're going to schedule a meeting. And then we're going to set these up beforehand so that when we start our meeting, they're ready to go. Give me a second. We're going to go to schedule a meeting over here on the right. And you've got your normal fields. You're going to fill those out, but you're going to scroll down here to the bottom and to your options. And this is where you're going to be able to assign your breakout rooms ahead of time. And then you'll be able to create those rooms from here. And so then you'll be able to add a room, room 1, and I can add participants if I have their email addresses, or I can edit the name of the room. I can just call it, say, room. I'm going to save that. Oops, I'm going to make some more. You can add more rooms. You can add 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can rename these. Each one of these can be renamed anything you want. So this could be, let's see, room, let's say we're just going to have this be a chat room, okay? A room where we can go and have just a little talk, right? Room number 3, you can same with all of these, you can rename them, and then you're going to save it, and it's going to be in your meeting, all scheduled, ready to go. You can see this down here, 5 breakout rooms ready, so when you start your meeting, then you're going to be able to launch these right away without doing any creation of these. So, but I'm going to assume for just a second that you're a lot like me, right, and that you haven't created these ahead of time. So if you're the host, and this is my host meeting, you'll see now that I've enabled them, I've got the breakout room button down here at the bottom, and so when I push that, I can come in and create now as many of these rooms as I want. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's create 6 rooms. I can assign people manually, or I can let my participants choose which room they're in. So you just need to choose which one of these you want to use. And in this case, I'm going to let my participants choose because I want to be able to show you how to do that. And then you're going to create those rooms. Now this is the host view of what they're doing. So now you've got a list of all of these different rooms, and you can assign people. You can rename the room from here. And once everybody joins, you're going to have a list of who's in there. So once I'm all set to go, let me double check my options. I want to maybe close these. I'm going to choose after, let's say, 20 minutes. We're going to make these 20 minutes long. I can have a notification here when that time is up. And I'm going to give them maybe a bit of a chance to finish up, say goodbye, depending on what you're doing. Could be 120 seconds. In this case, I'll just make it 10. I just want to close them. So you double check your options that you want. You're all set to go, and you open all your rooms. Now, all of your audience members are going to get a notification that they are invited to a room. And in this case, right now, everybody's not assigned. They haven't chosen where they want to go. But this is going to be the list of everything, where everybody's at and which rooms they're in. And from here, as the host, I can broadcast a message to all of those rooms once folks are in them. So that's what it looks like from the host's end of things. And these don't seem like a lot of steps, but when you're live, this can be really, really an extra step to go through. So it's a good idea to get this done ahead of time if you can. And then if you have to, you can create them while you're live. So that's the basics for the host view. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what this looks like from your participants view. So if you were a participant, now this is the little video I did earlier of this. If you're a participant, this is what your Zoom meeting looks like. Okay, you don't have all the same controls, but when the Zoom meeting starts, what you'll see, or when the breakout rooms start, sorry about that, you're going to get an invitation to join that to join a room. And so you're going to choose to go ahead and do that, and it's going to shift you into your other Zoom meeting. So you're headed to another Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting. Now, right now, I'm the only person in there, but as more people join, they're going to show up on this screen. And then from here, I can choose which one, if I want to switch a room, I can choose to go join that room. And now I'm off to another Zoom meeting. So it's not even just one Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting, it's multiple Zoom meetings within a Zoom meeting. And here you can see this room has got more people in it, and they are ready. This is a whole completely different room. So now I can switch over and I can choose another room if I wanted to. I can join that room, off again by myself in a room in another Zoom meeting by myself. Oh, sorry, with another guest in this case. And then I can leave with the big leave the breakout room, returning me to the main session, and I'm back at the beginning. And I can join the breakout room from the bottom, right back where I started from. Now everybody's coming back into the meeting, and we're all back into the main meeting. So that's what it looks like from your guest's perspective. Okay. Now, if I want to go ahead and close all of these rooms, I have all these rooms open and my guests have joined. Well, actually, I'm going to have my guests join first. So that's what it would look like. Your guests are joined. I'm going to go now ahead and open these rooms. Oh, I've already opened these rooms. Sorry about that. We're going to switch. I'm going to start having my guests join these rooms and move out into their various breakout rooms, and you can see that they're going to start to disappear from the main room. One at a time, they're going to disappear off the participants list, but they're going to be in the breakout rooms, and now you can see which rooms they're in. And as the host, let me make sure I get everybody out of here for a second. Okay, everybody's out. As everybody's joined their rooms, now all my guests are off and out into their rooms. This is the main Zoom meeting, and I'm here all by my lonesome. But all of my guests are out in their breakout rooms. So from here, if I want to send a message, I can send a message to everybody. I can say, thanks for showing up. And I'm going to broadcast this message, and it's going to send this message into the chat of each one of these rooms so that you can communicate with all of your guests. And it's that simple. It's sending another chat message into the chat in each one of those rooms. So let's say, we've done a little bit of, okay, this is the theme or whatever it is you're talking about with them, and I'm going to go ahead and now close these rooms and bring everybody back to the main meeting. Close it, you get a little indication at the bottom, all breakout rooms, 7 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and everybody starts to return to the main room. So there you have it. So we created them. We launched them. We joined them in a variety of phases. We could check which room we wanted to be in, and we got a message out from our host. Now, some of the most important pieces of these are creating these beforehand so that you can maybe advertise them and populate those rooms with a trained host of some sort. So I'm going to switch back to my video. That's it. That is breakout rooms in a nutshell. They're not terribly difficult to create. It makes it a lot easier when you create it beforehand. So I suggest that if that's something that you can do ahead of time, it's a really good thing. It saves you another extra step. And then beforehand, you can advertise, hey, we're going to have a breakout room for, just saying hi. We're going to have a breakout room that's, everybody's talking about cars or, whatever the theme of your thing is, you can have each one of those rooms ahead of time. People are going to know, hey, okay, I can get ready to go for this. Now, giving clear instructions about what's happening really is what's going to make that transition into the breakout rooms more effective. So either advertising ahead of time or giving those clear instructions when you're in your meeting that you're going to receive a message at the bottom to join a breakout room. And then if the folks can't get in there, you can say, okay, we can manually assign you, or then give instructions to the folks who really may need some more help with it. And then once you've got those rooms created, you've got all your people in it, putting somebody in there as a host is a really, really good idea because it will give that conversation direction. And so having hosts who can be in the room and guide the conversation ahead of time is a great way to further take advantage of the engagement with your audience, to get them engaged in the conversation and have it participating, so they don't have 1,000 people looking at them waiting to get their mute button figured out. So it's an audience comfort thing. It creates a more personal environment, and it can really, really help you with the engaging your audience. So this week, what I want to do is, if you have a chance, if you're going to have a Zoom meeting, you're going to have breakout rooms, you're going to be using breakout rooms, try to create them ahead of time. Go into your settings, make sure your breakout rooms are enabled, and when you do your scheduling, create your rooms ahead of time, so that you can take that extra step out when you're live and you have your meeting going. So that's it for the breakout rooms today. That was so much fun. I had a good time. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this. This is a lot of fun for me. I like coming out here and helping folks. I hope that you learned something, a little bit of something anyway, about breakout rooms. Hopefully make it a little bit better for your meeting. Really, what I want to do is get this, get folks comfortable so that so another Zoom meeting in a Zoom meeting isn't a problem. That it is easier to do. It is more engaging for your audience. So that's what I'm hoping to do with this. That's what I hope to help you with. So what I'm going to do, that was actually so much fun. My name is Michael Kyer. You can catch me here at my website. I've got links to all my stuff. That was so much fun. I think I'm going to do it again. I think I'm going to explain it again. I'm going to go through that one more time. I think that's a good idea, because Zoom meetings, why not? Do we really get enough of them? Not really. So let me see. I'm going to take a second here. That was basically the bulk of the content for today. So if you watched in the first 15 minutes, I appreciate it. I'm going to stick around. I think I'm going to do it maybe once or twice more. See if I can't explain it again. See if I missed anything along the way, because I tend to miss things when I get going on my streaming. Having such a good time making Zoom meetings within Zoom meetings. So let's see here. I'll just take a quick second to reset everything I'm doing. And make sure I've got my audience all set up. Got my audience all set up. Got my video ready to go. Pause my video. Let's see. YouTube looks good. Twitch looks good. If anybody's out there in Twitch, you can say hi in the chat. I've got that open. I can do a question here or two if you have one. Let's see. All right. That looks good. And I'm recording. Woo! And I'm not on mute. Those are all good things to check too. If you're doing your stream, make sure you're recording and you're not on mute. I do that regular. All right, let's see. Anybody in chat wants to say hi, I'll double check that, and then I'm going to say hi again. We'll do this one more time. I think that'll be a good idea. Practice makes progress, as a friend of mine likes to say. All right, so let's go. We'll go right back to the beginning. Here we go. How to use breakout rooms with Michael Kyer. michaelkyer.net. You can say hi in the Twitch chat over at Twitch. My cool Twitch handle is Larry Daryl. It's a reference to an old TV show. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. But if you do, you can leave me a message in the chat. That'd be fun. I want to see if I'm trying to see if anybody knows what the reference is. I don't get too many people who know what it is. So if you do, put it in and let me see. So we're gonna start this one more time. I'm gonna do this one more time. Let's see here. All right. Good morning. Let me ask you this question. What is worse than a Zoom meeting? A little bit of trivia for you this morning. What's worse than a Zoom meeting? A Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting, right? So today we're talking about breakout rooms. Breakout rooms are exactly that. They're another Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting. They're a fantastic way to engage your audience, but you've got to get your audience into them in the first place. So I don't like to talk bad about Zoom. I really love it, but I know that one of the challenges we see is that a lot of folks, they are already not happy with going to a Zoom meeting. You get to the Zoom meeting, then you have to go into this whole other thing to do. So having that be as smooth as possible is what we're trying to do. So today I'm going to show you how to do these, how to set these up hopefully beforehand. That's important. And then once we're going and we want to do the buttons that we have to go through, the steps to get our audience out into the breakout rooms. And they go out in phases. So we'll go through those real quick of what those phases are when you're sending your audience out to their breakout room. So if you're here, you just got here, I did this, doing this great presentation for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're going to learn a lot. I think that learning about breakout rooms is a great way to enhance your audience engagement in whatever your stream is, or your conference, or your meeting, or whatever it is. I really think that it's a good extra tool within Zoom that you can use. So my name is Michael Kyer. I use he, they pronouns. I'm out here streaming on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. And I talk about live streaming and video conferencing, a lot about software, but also all the other aspects that go with it that you might want to take into account, or things you might not know about, things I've learned over the last 2 years that I've been working on this stuff. So that's what I try to do when I come out here and working on my stream. And today's breakout rooms. We're trying to make breakout rooms a little bit more effective. So when we go into this, we're going to jump into it right now. And one of the first challenges that I've had over time is I tried to create my breakout rooms when I was live, when I was in the meeting. And one of the things I'm trying to do now is, if possible, if beforehand, is to create them beforehand. Go into my website, my Zoom web portal, create them beforehand so that while I'm in my meeting, then I'm not panicking and I've got this going on and I've got that going on and I'm trying to get it all done, and hopefully beforehand we can get that done. But I'm going to show you how to do that, but then I'm going to assume for a second that we didn't do that and we need to create them live. So then we're going to go into that. That's the first couple of steps of this. And then once we send our audience out, they go out in different phases. So we'll talk about that real quick. And then once our audience is there, we're going to a couple of things that they can do, how we can get them back to the main meeting, and then maybe start all over again. Do some more breakout rooms, Zoom meetings within Zoom meetings. So everybody's probably panicking. They're, no, I don't want to do another Zoom meeting. I don't want to go into another Zoom meeting. But they really are pretty simple to get into. So we're going to jump into this first thing with my Zoom web portal. That's what we're going to show first. We're going to go over to my main monitor. You can see my meeting and my Zoom web portal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my settings. I talk a lot about settings, but today I'm not going to go through them too much, but I'm going to want you to go to your web portal and sign into your Zoom and go to settings, and then we're going to go to the advanced meeting settings. That's the first thing. We want to make sure that this breakout room is enabled. We want to be able to use these. If we don't have this turned on, then it's not going to show up in the meeting, and you're not going to be able to schedule it from your scheduler here in the web portal. So double check which one of these options, if you want to use these options to allow them to assign participants while you're scheduling. And then we're ready to go and schedule a meeting. And you have to do this from the web portal. So you go up to your meetings, you're going to schedule a meeting in the upper right-hand corner here. You've got all your normal fields, which you're going to fill out, but you're going to scroll down to the bottom where you've got your options. You're going to show those options, and you're going to want to assign your breakout rooms, pre-assign your breakout rooms, that is. And then you're going to go here to create your rooms. And so this is beforehand, but I can create any number of rooms from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can create as many as I want. I can add participants if I have their email addresses, and I can rename all of these rooms. So I'm just going to name this one room. I'm going to say room 2 is going to be just room 2, but you can go through, click on the name, rename it, and you're ready to go. Once you have all of these assigned or labeled the way you want, you're going to save that, and then it'll be right here showing you've got 5 breakout rooms created, and then you can save it, and your meeting will be ready to go. So when you get to your meeting, it's going to be, those breakout rooms are all set, and you won't have to spend time while you're live making that happen. But let's say for just a second that you haven't done that, that you're like me and you have to create them live. So this is my host window, and you can see that I've got my option down here to do my breakout rooms. So when I click on that breakout room from here, these are my pre-assigned ones, but I'm going to recreate these. And I want to make, let's see, this time I'm going to make 8 rooms. And I want to let my participants choose the room that they're in because that's what I want to show. So I'm going to recreate these. Now I've got 8 rooms, and when everybody joins, they're going to be showing up in here in which room that they've joined. And I can also assign people from here. But now, big blue button, this is the one we're going to be starting all the rooms with. But we're going to check these options. Are there any of these options that we want to use? We can give our guests a few seconds to say goodbye when we close out the rooms. We can close rooms automatically after a certain amount of time. And then these other options about how you want your participants to be able to utilize the rooms. And it all depends on what the theme is or how you are looking to use the rooms. So you've got your options selected. You're going to open all the rooms. Now, all the rooms have been opened, and my guests are going to join. But what I have to show you real quick is what that looks like if I were a guest. Now, if I were a guest, this is what my Zoom meeting is going to look like. And I don't have the option right now to go to a breakout room because they haven't been launched yet. But once the host launches the Zoom meeting or the breakout rooms, they will get a little invitation to join the room. And it's the blue button. They can join that, join the room, and they're going to head out. And now they are in another Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting. This is the wonderful part. You're in a Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting. Room number 3, but we're going to go someplace else. We don't want to be here. We want to go to another Zoom meeting altogether. Another room. We're going to go to a different room. So it's not just a Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting. It's enough Zoom meetings, as many rooms as you've created. So now this is in a different room with these different guests. And I can say hi, room number 1. And if I want to go to another room, choose breakout room. Choose where I want to go and join that room. Back and forth, jump in and out. If you're comfortable with the buttons, you're comfortable with the... Now I'm going to go back to the main meeting, leave the breakout room, and I'm returning to the main session. So I'm back in the original main meeting. And then everybody else, when they get done, they're going to start to join back into the main meeting. Now, right now, they're in their own individual breakout rooms. And they are back. So if that was a participant, that's what they're going to see. And so I'm back. I'm the host. What I want to do is I'm going to close all these rooms. Okay, I'm going to close all of them. I want all my people to come back. Oh, actually, I have to send all my people out first. So everybody is going to join a room, and you'll see them disappear one at a time off the screen and go into their individual respective room. Joining, 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 joining. Now you can see that they are showing up not in the participants list of the main menu, but the participants list of the meeting. So now, as the host, I can go and join any one of these, but I've got a list of where my guests are at, and I can even move them from here and other options. And if I want to, I can broadcast a message to all the rooms. Hi, everyone. Now this is going to send a message into the chat. Well, it's not into the chat, but it sends a message into each one of the rooms from the host, and you can communicate with your audience from there. So I've got a few people in a few rooms, but I'm done with this. So we're going to close all the rooms and bring everybody back to the main meeting. Big red button, very easy to see. Close them all out. 10 seconds. Off we go. And everybody's going to start returning back to the main meeting. And there we go. And if I want, I can start these right up again. I can recreate them. I can make a whole new set of rooms. I can add more rooms if I want to. I can change my options, whichever I want to use, I want to do with that. So that is breakout rooms. Breakout rooms in a nutshell. So there you go. There you go. So your guests, when they're going into their breakout rooms, they leave in phases. So depending on the comfort level that your audience is, they might be jumping out of the room right away. They might need some clear instructions of how to go about accessing that. So very clear instructions are important when you're signing your breakout rooms. You might need the folks who need direct support. They don't know, they can't do it for one reason or another. So they go in, they can go into their breakout rooms. You can help to manually assign those. And then another group is the group that's not going to be able to make it into the breakout rooms whatsoever. So knowing that your audience is matriculating out in 3 phases that's what the organizational piece that you're taking into account to get your audience into or all your participants into their respective breakout rooms. So that is really the core content here today. If at all possible, try and create these rooms ahead of time. And then so when you get into your live meeting, you are ready to go. All your rooms are there. If you can't, or it's not part of the way your meeting is set up, you can create them while you're live and give your audience clear instructions about how to get into the room, that you're going to get a little message pop up. Or you can wait. I can take, the host can assign you. But give those phases. Give your audience a minute or two to go ahead and matriculate it out to their respective rooms. And then they can choose which rooms they go to depending on how you have the settings. Message them, close the rooms out, and then everybody's back in the main meeting. So that's it. That's not, as simple as that, those, steps are, it can really, really help to enhance your audience engagement. So what I want you to do this week is, if you get a chance, try and put these together, create these ahead of time. So then if you know when your event is, you know what you're going to be doing, put those together, and then you can advertise it so that when your audience gets there, they already know that, hey, we're going to be using breakout rooms. And if you've given your clear instructions, it's going to be very smooth, and you're not going to have to sit there and I've had to manually assign over 60 people, and that takes a lot of time. So everybody's just sitting around and waiting, and then your audience, I'm going to go watch something else. I'm going to go watch Netflix or whatever it is. The Mandalorian, right? Now that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go watch Baby Yoda. They're not going to stick around to your meeting if it's boring. We don't want that. We want to make it as efficient as possible. So this week, try it out. Try signing those ahead of time, and practice. So My name is Michael Kyer. I use he, they pronouns. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching my stream today. I hope that you learned a little bit, make a Zoom meetings within a Zoom meeting a little bit easier, a little bit simpler, maybe not quite as much of a chore on your audience, on your technicians, on whoever might be helping you. It can make a big difference. So, breakout rooms, how to use them effectively, efficiently. Hopefully, set them up beforehand. So that's it. That's all I got for today. I've already done this twice now. I'm going to go through and reset again. And for anybody just showing up, just coming into the stream, I'm going to give you, if you just give me a couple of seconds, I'm going to actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a drink of coffee here real quick. So if you're hanging out in the chat, I will be back in a second. You can give me a hello in the chat. Anybody out there? Let's see, who's out there? Anybody I know? Is there anybody I know? Oh yes, there are people I know. Say hi in the chat. I'll be back. Hi everybody. So I got a question for you. A little bit of trivia. What's worse than a Zoom meeting? What's worse than a Zoom meeting? A Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting. That's what we're talking about today, breakout rooms. So that's exactly what they are. Breakout rooms are a Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting. And they're really a great way to create smaller conversations, smaller ways for smaller groups to participate. And that's what I'm going to try and show you a little bit today. Now, I don't like to talk bad about Zoom. Zoom is a great program. I don't have very many problems with it. But there's, a lot of people have had enough of Zoom meetings. They are sick and tired of Zoom meetings. So you get to a Zoom meeting and say, hey, we're going to go into another Zoom meeting. It can be really, taxing on your audience. So if those steps to get into the breakout rooms are not as easy, are not simple, are not thought through, your audience is going to just be done. They're going to be like, we're leaving, we're going to go watch Netflix, we're going to go watch Boba Fett, we're going to go watch Baby Yoda, we're going to go watch, whatever you're watching. So we're trying to keep our audience engaged. And the breakout rooms, it's a lot easier to talk to a smaller group of people than it is to be in a room with 1,000 people waiting for them to get your mute button figured out. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create these smaller rooms, a little bit more personal conversations, and that's what we are trying to use breakout rooms for. It's a really great way to use them, have multiple conversations going, even though they're a Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting. So hopefully today you'll be able to get a little bit better idea of how you can create your meetings, get them going, get everybody into where they're going. So thank you so much if you're just stopping by. I'm doing this Wonderful presentation for you today. I appreciate it. I appreciate you stopping by and listening. It's great to have you here. And if you're a future person, if you're watching this on the replay, thank you for watching. I know that asynchronous is a big part of today's world that we're in. So, future people, thank you very much for stopping by. Say hi in the chat. Leave me a message. Give me a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. I love hearing from folks. I love hearing what they have to say. Give me criticism if you've got criticism. I always like criticism. It helps me get better with my presentations. So my presentations, my name is Michael Kyer. I use he, they pronouns. And I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. And I talk about video conferencing and live streaming. A lot of things that I've learned over the last couple of years. Little tips, little tricks, little how-to videos, little don't do this things. I've got a lot of those. Don't do this, don't do this. I've got a lot of those. So that's what I try and do pretty regularly. I talk about software. I talk about moderation and all sorts of different things. So if you want, you can check me out up at michaelkyer.net. I've got links out to all my socials there and a bunch of different videos and stuff that I've done for more in-depth, a little bit more detail treatment of all these different pieces. So today we're talking about breakout rooms. We're going to go through some of the different steps to put them together. Hopefully scheduling them beforehand. That's what I'm really trying to get everybody to go towards today, is to schedule these beforehand if you can, because it takes that one step out when you're live streaming. And then giving your audience clear instructions. Once you do create them, once your audience goes out, they're going to go out in phases. The people who can do it, they're going to just shoot right into that second, and they can't wait to get into the second Zoom meeting, so they're going to jump right in. Then you got some folks maybe who are going to need a little bit more orientation, so they're going to stick back. That's going to be second group to leave. And then the people who really need some more support, who aren't as comfortable with the software, so that as the host, you're going to have a little bit more work. But if we can have this set up, we can have it set up ahead of time, it should be a little bit more smooth for your audience to get out to where they're going. And then once they're there, hopefully they can jump around and go to different rooms if you've got them set up. And you're off and running with your breakout rooms. Your audience is having a grand time. They're enjoying what you're doing, and there you go. Win. So we're going to go through how to set these up. I'm going to jump right into it. I'm not going to spend too much time talking. Well, I always spend a lot of time talking, but right now all I'm going to do is get set up to show you. I'm going to jump right into my... So you've got my Zoom meeting as a host, and I've got all my participants here. You can see them in the participants list. So that's my Zoom meeting. But what I want to do is I'm going to hopefully create these rooms ahead of time. So I'm going to go into my settings first of all and make sure that I can create these. So you go to your in-meeting advanced settings and make sure that your breakout rooms, that you have enabled this button. You want it to be blue so that when you go to do your scheduling, you will be able to create those rooms ahead of time. That's the main thing we're trying to be able to do, is create these ahead of time so you don't have to do them while you're going live. Now that you've got these set, you can go back up to your meetings and you're going to schedule a meeting, and then I'll show you here how to get that scheduled. So you go into schedule a meeting. You've got all your normal fields that you are going to fill out, date, time, etc. And you're going to go down here to your options. And your options, once you show those, you're going to do my breakout rooms, pre-assign them, and you can create your rooms from here. So once I click on that, I can create as many rooms as I want to, up to 50, and assign a total of 200 people, and I can just start creating rooms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for this meeting, I'm going to have 6 rooms. I can come up, I can rename them anything I want. I'm just going to call this one room. Add participants if I have their email. Then I'm going to save that. And here you can see in this meeting, now I've got 6 breakout rooms created, and I'm going to go ahead and save that meeting. So now when I start this up, those breakout rooms already created, and I don't have to create them while I'm live. But what I'm going to assume today is that you're a lot like me, and you haven't created them ahead of time. So this is my host meeting, and I'm going to have I've got my breakout rooms enabled so I can make these. Click on that button, and these are rooms that I had from before, but I'm going to recreate these. I'm going to recreate, let's say I'm just going to make 6. I'm going to choose whether I want my participants to be assigned automatically, whether I want to assign them, or whether I want them to be able to choose. That depends on what type of meeting you're running. So I'm going to recreate those. I've got my 6 rooms. Once I launch these, I can assign people. Their names are going to show up here, and I can always add a room. I want to double check any options that I might have. So I want to maybe close the rooms automatically after 20 minutes. Maybe want to give people a few seconds to say goodbye at the end. So I want to give, once I close the rooms, I'm going to give them, say, 10 seconds, or some of these other options depending on how you want to have your meeting run. And then I'm going to open all of them. Now, breakout rooms are all open. My participants have all gotten a invitation to join, and now I want to show you what that would look like if I'm a participant. So this is one of my participant windows, and so if I'm in the meeting and I'm the participant, I don't see right now the ability to join a breakout room until the host starts them. When the host starts them, you're going to get a message pop up asking you to join. Click the blue button to join, and you're going to transfer out to your meeting room. So if you're comfortable with the instructions, you can, or you know how to use them, you're going to jump right into your Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting. So now I'm in room 3, all by myself, and I'm in a whole other meeting, but there's nobody here. I'm going to go find somebody. I'm going to go over to the breakout room, so I'm going to choose a different room. Join room number 1. There's people in there. Yay, I'm going to go. Click the blue button. Go. Now I'm joining room number 1. And in room number 1, more guests. So, well, wait a minute. These are not the guests I thought they were going to be. I'm going to leave room 1. I'm up here in room 1. So I'm going to actually go ahead and change rooms again. I want to go to a different room. And I'm going to go to a different breakout room. I'm going to go to room 2. Yes, let's go. Join room 2. And so you can bounce back and forth. You can go to all these different rooms depending on the theme. I don't want to get out of here altogether. I want to go back. I want to leave the breakout rooms, go back to the main session, and start joining the main session again. And then once everybody is done in their breakout rooms, those breakout rooms get closed, everybody will start joining the main meeting once again. And you'll see them pop up. Now we're all back in the main Zoom meeting. So Zoom meetings within Zoom meetings within Zoom meetings. You can have as many as you want, up to 50 rooms. And that's what it looks like from a participant's perspective. Now, if you're the host, you get these and you just started these, and your audience is going to start joining. So they're going to start disappearing here in a second. So I'm going to join. My audience is going to join. And you're going to see them start to disappear one at a time. Jumping out, jumping out, jumping out into their breakout rooms. So now people have headed out to their breakout rooms. I've got one more person to send. So there you go. That person's going to take off. And now, from here, as the host, I can manage those rooms. I see where everybody's at. And I can move them if I want to. I can manually move them. I can join a room and pop in there and say hi to everybody if I want to. And I can even broadcast a message to everybody. I'm going to say, you know, hello, just hello, basic hello. Say hi to your audience. So now that's sent a message out to all of those breakout rooms. And that's the extent of it. That all the breakout rooms are running. My guests are off and running. It was real simple. And now I've got a bunch of littler meetings within this main meeting. Now, they don't show up in the participants list. You can see that here, but this is the participants list for them. So I'm done with my Zoom meeting. Now what? Now what am I going to do? I'm going to just close it. Just close it. All these are going to close in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And everybody's going to return then to the main meeting one at a time. Boom, boom, boom. And we're back to the main meeting. All my guests have returned. So that's it, breakout rooms. They started, we got everybody there, it was simple, jumped around. Excellent, excellent. So, few quick, made sure it was enabled in the settings before we started. Scheduled it so that we can possibly advertise it ahead of time. We created them and gave our audience clear instructions, hopefully, launched them. Our audience joined in different phases. The folks who were oriented enough, they got out there. The next group maybe needed a little bit more instruction, but they were able to shoot out there. Next group would be needing more support from the host to be manually assigned. And then there's a group that's not going to be able to make it out there at all. But hopefully once you've got your meeting breakout room set, they can either randomly assign people or they can choose which room they want to be in. You can message them, and then your breakout rooms are off and running. So hopefully if you can create them beforehand, you can advertise ahead of time, and then you can get your hosts in there and have your conversations, your smaller, more personal conversations. So that's it. That's what I've got. That's what we are trying to do is make this a smooth transition into those breakout rooms as possible, so that you keep your audience engaged. You keep them in the conversation. It's not another chore. What's worse than a Zoom meeting? Another Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting. So that's the thing we're trying to avoid, is putting extra stress and strain on your audience. So this week, if you get a chance, what I want you to do is try and create these ahead of time. Go into your meeting, make sure it's set up in your web portal settings. When you go, schedule your meeting if that's something you can do ahead of time. And then when you're ready to go, you're all live, those will be all ready for you to go. So try it out, check it, see what you think. Leave me a message on the comments if you get a chance. Let me know if it works for you. I'd love to hear back from you. I'd love to see how it works, if it's working good for you. Because I don't want your audience to leave. I don't want them to go to Netflix. I don't want them to go looking at Baby Yoda and Sand People and all that stuff. I mean, we want them to be staying at your live stream or your event. And making this a little bit simpler on them is a great way to do that. So I hope you have fun. My name is Michael Kyer, and I use he, they pronouns. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, and I talk about video conferencing and live streaming. I try to bring some of the little things, insights, tips, tricks that I've learned over the last couple of years of working on with this stuff, and hopefully it'll make your stream a little bit better, your video conference a little bit better. And so, yeah, get out there, make those breakout rooms. Yep, Zoom meeting within a Zoom meeting. Don't tell anybody that, though. Don't advertise it that way. If you advertise it that way, they're not going to want to show up. So, anyway, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's good. I did that a couple of times today. So, if you stop by, if you're still watching, appreciate it. Thank you so much for staying here the whole 53 minutes or whatever it was. Ran through my breakout room presentation a few times. I think it's going pretty good. So anyway, that's it. I think I'm done for the day. I'm going to go back and edit this video, see if there's I don't know, any good parts to it. Hopefully it's a good stream today. So that's it. I'm going to let you go. I'll talk to you on Monday. What is Monday? Monday the 14th. Already mid